Everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 23rd, and we're going to be talking about how to format a works cited page and how to do in-text citations. So if you go to course content week 4, you'll see the June 23rd folder, and it's got a bunch of stuff in it. This top thing is this document, and it tells you, it explains what a quote is and how to set them up in your essays. Many of you have done that. You've seen it done, but if you need a refresher, this tells you how to do it. And it also shows you how to do parenthetical citations, which we have to do for any research essay so that our reader knows exactly where we got that information. It also tells you how to do paraphrases and summaries, gives you some information on that. It tells you how to do a parenthetical citation of a work listed by a title and all of that. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. And then the next one is sort of the same thing. It shows you how to integrate quotes and signal phrases, which instead of saying so-and-so says over and over and over again, it gives you a list of words to use instead of said or any of that. It tells you how to properly use an ellipsis. You don't have to look at this quoting prose because that's more for quoting like literature, and we're not doing that in this essay. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm just going to briefly go over these. It's going to be up to you to read them fully and take what you need from them, but I am going to tell you how to do them real fast. And then tips and tricks to works cited and in-text citations. So I'm going to pull up, this is one of the research example essays that I showed you. This is the Ghosts Do Exist one, and if this person typed her essay all up, and then the last page, she ends her essay on page 4, and then she goes down to page 5. Page 5 is her works cited page. And what a works cited page is that tells your reader where you got all of that information. Works cited pages need to be in alphabetical order by author's last name, or if you don't have an author's last name, you can use the article title, or here she used the name of the organization. So if you don't have the author's name, you just go to the next thing in the citation and see what it would be. Now, it's like I showed you in the last video. If you use opposing viewpoints to get all of your information, they cite it for you. So all you have to do is copy and paste. Okay, and that's the easiest thing to do. It's what I would recommend that you do. However, I know sometimes you may have a book or you may Google your topic and you have to cite that. So the way you do that is you go to Al Purdue, and see, I linked it here, and when you get there, it takes you to this sample works cited page. I believe I showed y'all a little bit of this website in my last essay, or in my last video. Anyway, this is a sample works cited page, so it just shows you how it should be set up. You can see that it's in alphabetical order by author last name. Here they don't have an author's last name because it's the movie title, and so it's in alphabetical order based on the movie title. And when you have an, a, or the, you always go with the second word, so you would alphabetize it by that. But on the left hand side rather, you will be able to bring up this MLA formatting and style guide. And if you click on that little arrow, it gives you all this information: general format of an MLA formatted essay, MLA in-text citations, how to basically do that, how to format quotations using endnotes and footnotes, which we're not doing. Basic format for the works cited page, basic format for books, basic format for periodicals, for electronic sources, and other common sources. So if you have a book at home that you want to cite and use in your essay, you would come here and click on books. And then you would scroll down and you would be like, okay, basic book format, okay, book with one author. Okay, my book has one author, so how would I do it? And see, they have author's last name, last name, comma, first name, period, title of the book, this is the publisher, and then the publication date. And see, under basic book format, it tells you this is what's going to go into this format. Last name, comma, first name, title of book, city of publication, publisher, and publication date. City of publication should only be used if the book was published before 1900. For the most part, you should not have any of your information shouldn't be coming from something super dated like that, not in a contemporary research essay. Periodicals, that's like encyclopedias, dictionaries, newspapers, magazines, reviews, editorials, electronic sources, that's going to be like websites and magazine articles on websites, pages on websites, ebooks, images, things like that. Other common sources, they're going to be like an interview, a podcast, speeches, panel discussions, paintings, songs, films, movies, PDFs, MP3s, JPEGs, that kind of thing. There's probably even a way to cite, you'd probably, if you were going to cite a GIF, you would cite it the same way you would cite these. So yeah, this will show you how to cite pretty much anything and everything you can find. And you have to do it exactly the way they do it. So commas where they put commas, periods where they put periods, italics where they have italics, quotation marks where they have quotation marks, and so on and so forth. But yeah, if you find something that you need to cite, and it didn't cite it for you, you didn't get it from the Opposing Viewpoints website, come to Al Purdue and look in these areas and find it, and you'll be able to cite it yourself. And if you use any sort of citation generator like this, double check it, because it's not always right. So that is how you do your works cited page. Copy and paste for Opposing Viewpoints. Look it up on Al Purdue for things that you don't use Opposing Viewpoints for. Works cited page should be in alphabetical order. So now let's talk about in-text citations. So if you have to look up any information, which that's what the research essay is about, you have to cite it within the text. So if it's not common knowledge, like the sky is blue or something, you have to cite in text or it is considered plagiarism. So let's see an example from hers. So she gets this one, this sentence, or this paragraph. She's talking about Peggy Hodgson. She's a mother of 4, happy life, invisible force was throwing. She's talking about the haunting of Peggy Hodgson and her family. So she got this information from her source Penman. So that is a newsmonster.com or .co.uk. So that's an online website article. So she put the author's last name in parentheses at the end of the information that she had gotten from that source. Now, if she had a page number, she would need to put the author's last name and a page number, but she didn't because it is it's an online source. And for the most part, if you use an online source, you're not going to have page numbers. If you use it like a journal, an academic journal article, they will probably have page numbers on there, so you need to make sure that you include those. Let's see. I'm trying to find... Well, see here, they have just the page number. Stop that. Here they have just the page number. They don't have an author's last name. You can do that if you put the author's name early in the sentence. So, for example, this is a quote. So they tell us who, right here, the farmer's assistant being a digest of all that relates to agriculture and the conducting of royal affairs, alphabetically arranged and adapted for the United States. And then they have that whole block of a quote. And so then at the end of that quote, they put the page number because their reader already knows where the information comes from. So if you use, and see here they have author's last name and page number down here. But if you say, you say the author's name in what you're writing, like here they say Robertson, you just have to put the page number. So if you don't have page numbers, you don't have to put it. So if you just say that so-and-so states in their article, blah, 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 that blah, 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 you've cited your source. Okay, you don't have to use parenthetical citations. If you just want to quote your source, then you have to put the author's name in the parenthetical citation. Don't use quotes longer than 4 lines. It's called block quoting, and we don't want to do that. Let's see. And this is more signal words that they have for you here. So it's always better to have more parenthetical citations than you need. So if you get information and you're like, well, I have one sentence from this one and one sentence from another source and so on and so forth, put a parenthetical citation from any information that you get from any source, no matter how small it is. If you get information from another source, you need to cite it. If you don't, it's considered plagiarism. And you parenthetically cite at the end of your sentence. See here, it's not like in the middle, it's at the end. You can see it in this one as well. She puts it at the end of sentences. And see, she has whole paragraphs that she then just attributes to one source. That's fine. If you have multiple information from one source and it's all right there together, and then you just put the source at the end of the paragraph, that's fine. But all of that information has to come from that single source. If you use a different source within that, you have to cite that. You have to show that you're switching from one source to the other. Yeah, for the most part, you're just going to be using author last name, and parenthetical citations. Again, you can use it in the text and say according to blah blah blah, and then just give the page number at the end if you have a page number. If not, you don't have to do anything. Oh, I'm trying to think. I think that's everything. It's always better to overuse citations than it is to underuse them. So we can always cut some out if you don't need as many as you think you need. But for the most part, you're going to need several. And you have 4 sources. So you're going to be using parenthetical citations for each of your 4 sources. And again, if you put the source in the Works Cited page, you have to use it somewhere in your essay. You can't just be like, well, I read this and I know it now, so I don't have to cite the source. No, you still have to cite the source. I think that's everything. Yep. Check these out. Read through these 2 that I gave you. Oh, your Works Cited pages. If you'll notice, she has a hanging indent, and what that means is that the first line is fully left aligned, and the next line of the source is indented. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do that. So I just copied and pasted some from from Al Purdue's Works Cited page, and I'm going to show you how to do this on Word. So you highlight the things that you want to have a hanging indent, and you go to Layout, and you go to the paragraph settings. Underneath indentation, it shows special. Bring up that drop down menu, make sure that you have the hanging indent, make sure that it's 0.5 inches, and then hit OK, and it does it for you. See, the first line of each citation is fully left aligned, and then every line after that has an indentation of that 0.5 inches. So that's how that works. Okay, I think that's everything. Works cited pages are not difficult to set up. The thing that's difficult is figuring out how to cite things, and you've got this great tool to do that. It tells you exactly how to do it. And again, the website Opposing Viewpoints pretty much does it for you. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. If you have questions, if you have something, you can't find it on OWL Purdue and you're like, I don't know how to cite this, email me, text me, let me know, and I'll help you find how to properly format that. Now, if you're using a website, you cannot just copy and paste the URL and expect that to be sufficient. You have to format it in MLA format. I've seen that so many times. You have to properly cite it, and this website shows you how to do it. I can't go through and tell you how to do each and everything because that would take way more than 5 weeks. So you'll just have to find what you're wanting to cite on your own if it doesn't come from Opposing Viewpoints. But again, I will help you find where OWL Purdue has it. Because like I said, they have everything. They show you how to cite everything. So we'll find it together and we'll get through that. So just let me know if you have one that you can't find. Okay, I think that's it. Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow your works cited page is due by 11:59 via email. So tomorrow you're not going to have a lecture. It's just a research day. You're going to spend your time looking through Opposing Viewpoints and getting some sources, getting some articles, pictures, whatever you may need. And your works cited page is due by 11:59 via email tomorrow. And all your works cited pages is the list of the sources that you're going to use in MLA format. Like I just showed you, it should look like this. You know, just in alphabetical order. It's just a list of the sources you're going to use in an MLA format. And that's due tomorrow by 11:59. And then Thursday and Friday are both research and writing days. You don't have anything due Friday. Your rough draft is not due until midnight on Sunday. So you have until Sunday, June 27th to write your rough draft. And I'm about to start replying to everyone's topic proposals. So if you haven't checked back in on that, do so now before you start working and researching. I think that's everything. It's hard to do full lectures online because I don't get real-time questions. So when someone asks me a question, I can't then just address it to the whole class. So I may have missed something. So if you have any questions or concerns, email me, text me, let me know, and I will help you get through it. This is going to be one of the last lectures that I do. The last one I'm going to do is on how to format a portfolio. So we're almost done. This is your last essay. We're getting there. This summer one semester is almost over. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. We are in the home stretch. We will get there soon. And just let me know if you need me. Thanks, guys.